try to be optimistic as a critic. I really want to be excited about everything I watch. Believe me, I do. But there are times where going into a film, my expectations are not that high. This is one of those times where I wasn't that enthusiastic going into a new animated film. I had a feeling that this would be work. So, with that said, let's talk about this new film that I happened to get to see early. A new animated film from Netflix is coming out called Leo, and it's a comedy from Adam Sandler and his production company, Happy Madison. And like I said earlier, this was not a film I was excited for, and let me make this clear, it's not because I hate Adam Sandler. I have nothing against him as a person, as I've heard he's nothing but a nice guy, and I do think he is talented and he can really act. Anyone that's seen him in Punch Drunk Love, the Meyerowitz Stories, and Uncut Gems can attest to that. It's just that his comedies are not my thing. And looking at this new animated film, it seemed to be yet another annoying Adam Sandler comedy, except now he's playing a lizard. Okay. But before I get into this new animated film, I guess I should briefly talk about my thoughts on the other animated films Sandler has been in. Most people know him for his work in the first 3 Hotel Transylvania films, where he played Count Dracula. And I actually like those films. They're silly, fun, have some great animation, and Sandler was pretty funny as Drac. I think they're a ton of fun, and they're worth watching if you're curious. Well, the first 3, that is. You can skip the 4th film, Hotel Transylvania Transformania. It's not worth it, and both Sandler and director Genndy Tartakovsky wisely sat that one out. But there's another animated film that Sandler is also known for, and it happened to be the first animated film involving Happy Madison. Unfortunately, that film was 8 Crazy Nights.
Please excuse me while I go take a shower.
I have always heard that this was one of the worst animated films of the 2000s, and let me tell you, the hype is real. It is an endurance test. It does have its merits, as it does have some great animation and a few nice moments, but the story was gross, mean-spirited, and exceptionally unfunny. The screenplay was very poorly written, and the characters were all terrible, ranging from unlikable to exceptionally annoying. I mean, there's an old man character in the film named Whitey that Sandler voices, and he's supposed to be this kind and sweet character that the audience likes, but...
Your Honor, if it pleases the court, I'd like to interject for a moment.
Yeah, that voice. I could tell what Sandler was going for, and I do respect him for trying to make a film about the craziness of the holidays and Hanukkah, but boy, this did not work for me. I really think it's awful, and I recommend avoiding it. So that brings us back to Leo, and knowing that Happy Madison was working on it was a major reason I was not very excited for it, as I expected it would be more like 8 Crazy Nights and less like Hotel Transylvania. But as always, I went into this film giving it a chance, as I usually do, and after seeing it, well, I can say it's better than 8 Crazy Nights, but that's really not saying much. This was a rough film to get through. I've seen some bad animated films that have come out this year, and I can say without hesitation that Leo is one of the worst. This was a film that I really struggled to sit through entirely, and it might be one of the worst animated films Netflix has ever released. I really did not like this film. In a classroom in Florida, a lizard named Leo, played by Adam Sandler, and a turtle named Squirtle, played by Bill Burr, are prepared to start another year of being the class pets for a bunch of 5th graders. However, as the year starts, Leo overhears a comment from the principal that he is getting old, and soon realizes he has been the class pet for about 75 years, and his life might soon be ending. Hoping to do more before his life ends, Leo plans to make an escape and soon gets his chance when the class substitute, Miss Malkin, played by Cecily Strong, tells the class that each student has to take him home for the weekend. But as he is about to make his escape, one of the students notices he can talk and his plans go awry. Though he soon ends up bonding with each of the students as he hears about each of their problems with growing up and worries about starting middle school. And from there, Leo has to figure out what he wants to do left with his little time, helping the students or making his escape. So let me just say that based on that premise, it's not a bad idea. A film about kids leaving elementary school and starting middle school and talking about their worries? Yeah, I can get behind that. There's potential. But here's the problem. The story I told you happens in the first 30 minutes. This is not a well-written story since it really gets repetitive after a while. Leo is taken home, his escape plan fails, the kids notice he can talk, and he hears their problems and gives them feedback. And it keeps going and going and going, and the film just gets so tiring after a while. There really isn't that much here due to how fast-paced and rushed it was, and the screenplay was so poorly written that by the 45-minute mark, I started to get really annoyed and bored. I'm all for simple stories, but you need to make your film engaging based on the limited scope, and after a while, this film really struggles to keep your attention. Plus, the third act is so bad and such a mess as well, with annoying cliches and preposterous twists. It also doesn't help this film is exceptionally dated as well. This film got its start in 2016 at STX Entertainment before Netflix picked it up. And let me tell you, this is a script that feels like it was written in 2016. One of the characters mentions Quiznos at one point, despite the fact that the chain is mostly gone. And even worse is a scene where a bus driver is seen singing Watch Me Whip by Silento. Do the filmmakers in Sandler not know that the song is not cool? It wasn't cool since 2015, and it's certainly not cool now considering that Silento is, you know, in jail for murder.
Accused of killing his own cousin.
Woof.
In County.
I would find this film's story forgivable if it was funny, but oh no. No. This was not funny. I'll say this, there was one joke that I found funny. It's a joke about a dragon roller coaster and how it was banned in Europe, and someone goes, well, not here in Florida. I won't lie, that was pretty funny. But that was it. Every other joke here is a massive dud. It's really unfunny and scrapes the bottom of the barrel with lowbrow humor. There's a lot of toilet and gross out humor, and also lame puns and terrible slapstick. Ha, he's destroying a model set in slow motion like Godzilla. Haven't seen that one before. Ugh. And don't just take my word for it. I saw this film in theaters with an audience, and they weren't laughing at all. These jokes really did not land. The animation in this film is also not that good. The character designs of Leo and Squirtle are decent, I'll give it that, and the lighting isn't bad, but the character animation in this film is really janky, and it does not look right. The characters moved so oddly and unnaturally at times, and the way they interacted with objects looked so odd. Even the way the props moved didn't look right. There's a drone that moves so stiffly, and Legos don't bounce right on the ground. It looked amateur. Some of the character designs in the film are also inconsistent. The film designs the humans to look like average animated humans, but then there are these kindergartners who have these massive eyes and look like they came out of a completely different film. They look like they belong more in Hotel Transylvania than here. I mean, I get what they were trying to do with them by making them look crazy and rabid, but it really didn't work for me. This film was animated by Animal Logic, and normally their films look spectacular, but this is far from their best work compared to films like Happy Feet and The Lego Movie. As for the characters, they were also terrible. Leo is exceptionally annoying in this film, and most of it comes down to Sandler's performance. The voice he uses for Leo is...
People can't know!
I'm guessing supposed to be this old man voice, and it gets pretty grating after a while. I'll give it this, I'll take it over his voices in 8 Crazy Nights, but this was a far cry from his Drac voice in Hotel Transylvania. It also doesn't help that the character really doesn't have that much of an arc. He quickly gets over his escape plans, so for the rest of the film, I didn't find much reason to care about him. As for the kids he talks to, there could have been potential for them to make them identifiable and likable, but most of them fall into stereotypes and come across as unrealistic. These kids fall into the standard tropes we expect. Nerdy girl who talks too much, boy with overprotective parents, lonely rich girl with parents that don't care about her too much, and the standard bully. They don't deconstruct these characters well, and the way they're first presented is just dumb. Especially the kid with the overprotective parents. This kid has a drone follow him around everywhere and basically ruins the fun for him. And when he tells Leo about it, Leo's solution is to write to the drone that their relationship is over. I'm sorry, that's just really stupid. Like, it's not funny and it isn't clever, it's just dumb. Especially considering that they try to make this drone a character, and after the kid dumps him, it basically acts like it's been in a breakup and starts eating ice cream and wearing a bathrobe. Again, the comedy is really bad. There's also not much to say about the other characters. Leo's friend Squirtle is the best friend who soon gets jealous, the mean substitute has a sad backstory, and the parents are background characters. There's nothing of note about them. I should also mention this film is a musical, and not a very good one at that. The songs in this film are really lousy. Not only are they not funny and not memorable, but they're also not well written at all. Some of the songs felt like fragments of songs rather than fully finished. They don't offer much and are just annoying. And I feel that sums up Leo in a nutshell. A film that doesn't offer much and is just annoying. While I like the idea of the film as it had potential, the story is exceptionally unfunny and not well written. The animation is janky and awkward, the characters are stereotypes and annoying, and the songs feel unfinished. I didn't need to think too hard about this. It is a really lousy film from Netflix and Adam Sandler, and an easy animated film to skip. I never thought I'd say this, but Sandler should have done Hotel Transylvania Transformania instead. That wasn't great either, but that was just a mediocre film compared to this. This was really lousy. And I'm just gonna wrap things up. Leo gets a 3. It's not fun in the slightest. Like I said, I don't hate Adam Sandler, and I do think he's talented if he has the right material, and he has shown signs of greatness and wisdom. But as for this film, this is neither great nor wise.
It's incredible!